What's up, everybody? Hey, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are in the world. What's up, everybody? I pray that you are having an awesome day, and I pray that you had a magnificent, phenomenal, fantastic day. What's up, everybody? I see everybody on here. Hey, Ingrid, hey, Charmaine, and Eva, and Sandy Rose, and India. What's up? Caleb, how are you, sir? Jeremy, what's up? What's up, PJ? How's everybody doing? I hope y'all had a good day today and that nobody got on your nerves too bad. I really do pray that. I hope that nobody get on your nerves too bad, y'all. Y'all go on ahead and do me a favor, share this, like this, let everybody know that we are live and in person. I don't think I like this overlay anymore, so I'm gonna take it off. All right, so listen, thank y'all so much for hanging out. I've got something fairly deep, if you want to call it that. Hey, Genesis, how are you? I've got something pretty serious that I want to talk about. And I'm putting my psychologist, therapist, counselor hat on tonight. And so we're going to talk to, you said the people on your job working your nerves. I hope it gets better. But I'm going to talk about some things, as y'all probably saw on the lead in. I'm going to be talking about traveling trauma. So before I even get into that tonight, and I'm not going to be long, I'm going to just kind of hit you with these thoughts and these concepts, talk about it just a little bit, and then I'm going to let you go. Is that all right? All right, cool beans. So if y'all could go ahead and if y'all could go ahead, hey, Mika, hey, daughter, if you could go ahead, share this, tag some folk in it, and let me know, or let them know that AC is live and he talking about you. No. But I'm going to talk about some various things tonight. All right, this is Truth Talk on the Thursday. This is Truth on the Thursday. So y'all know I keep it real, I keep it raw. I just kind of call it like it TI is. Just kind of let y'all know what's going on. Sometimes I come from a biblical perspective. Sometimes I come from a very practical, pragmatic perspective. Tonight, I'm going to really be coming from my psychological, philosophical, therapist counseling hat. And I'm a, I got to put a little bit of AC sprinkle on there, AC sauce on it, and then we'll go from there. Hey, Lasagna. Hey, Shantae. How are you? What's up, everybody? All right, cool beans. So tonight I am talking about traveling trauma. Before I even mention that, I do want to let y'all know I've got a new course out, y'all, and it is called Dynamics of the Supernatural 101. Dynamics of the Supernatural 101. I want y'all to know that I am teaching this course. It's going to start on November the 15th. And I'm going to be talking about those topics that you see right here on the flyer and so much more. I'm going to be covering a whole lot of content that I have not yet taught before, but now the Lord is allowing me to release it right now. So y'all can definitely go to drchrismontgomery.com and register for it. Okay. It is going to be over the span of 8 weeks, every Tuesday night for 8 weeks. If you can't make it, you can still register and get the replay. And all of that great stuff. All right. It is going to be partially self-contained, but it is also going to be live sessions, recorded videos, all types of things already preloaded for you to just kind of walk yourself through it right there on the website. So you ain't going to have to worry about where to go, what to do, and everything. You just come to the website, get in there. All right, cool. So definitely make sure you do that. I'll do another live that's going to talk about this in more in depth. But Dynamics of the Supernatural 101, trust me, you want to take this course. There is more for you, and God wants you to live a supernatural lifestyle. And so I'm going to teach, impart, train, coach, empower you to live that supernatural lifestyle that God wants you to live. Okay. So make sure that you go to Dr. Christopher Montgomery, or Dr. Chris Montgomery is both the same website. Make sure that you go and you register today. I'm only leaving it open for a certain amount, and I am closing. I'm very serious about that. I'm only leaving it open for a certain amount. And once it's full, it's going to close. All right. So I love y'all. Make sure y'all do that. All right, cool. So y'all ready for this? Y'all ready for this topic? It's going to be pretty real. It's going to be pretty intense. Hey, Nisha. Hey, daughter. How are you? It's going to be fairly intense. It's going to be, yeah, it's going to get real. It's going to get real. It's going to get real. Shiloh, hey, how are you? Hey, baby girl, how are you? Love you. Let's see. You ready? Y'all ready? Who ready? Who ready? All right. Y'all let me know that y'all ready. Y'all make sure y'all share this too. Everybody keeps sending me messages and text messages. I done said it like 15 times. I burned my hand. I burned my hand. I know the chef, the cook, the gourmet chef, AC. Yes, I burned my hand. I burned my hand with some grease, and so it burned it to the raw meat. But it was a second-degree burn, but it's healing. It's fine. I'm just keeping it covered so I don't keep bumping it and then going like this, because pain going through everything. So it's all doing good. Y'all just pray for my hand. Pray that there'll be no major scarring and all of that good stuff, but I will be fine. All right. So tell your friends, stop asking about what happened to the hand. He burned it. All right. Cool beans. Let's do it. Let's do it. You was about to text me. Y'all, Jesus, pay attention. All right. I just put on the white. I can't. Anywho, let's do this. I am so elated about it. So tonight we're going to be talking about traveling traumas. Traveling traumas. Can y'all type that in for me real quick? Traveling traumas. Traveling traumas. All right. This is True Talk. Okay. This is True Talk. This is True Talk. Okay. True Talk. True Talk with Dr. Chris, and we're talking about traveling traumas. Nah, you ain't got to pull up. Traveling traumas, yes. Yeah, traveling traumas. This is very important for us to pay attention to, right? Yeah. This is going to be deal. So everybody take a deep breath, because I'm probably going to say some things that are going to, this is a trigger warning. This is a trigger warning right now. I'm probably going to say some things that you may not like, or it's going to be triggering for you, but just breathe through it. We're going to get through it. We're going to make it. Okay. We need to have this good old discussion. Okay. We got to have this discussion on traveling traumas. What is happening to everyone, I think, in all of my counseling sessions, for those of y'all who don't know, I am a therapist. I am a counselor. It's what I do. I have a degree in it. It's what I do. Outside of preaching and teaching, church planting, entrepreneurship, and all of these other things that I do, I am a therapist. That's what I have a degree in. Well, one of my doctorate degrees. And so, hey, I don't know who the Facebook user is, but hey, what's up? And so here's the thing. We all endure traumas, right? We all endure some form of trauma. And if you say that you have gone throughout life and you have never been traumatized by anything, something's wrong, right? Something is wrong with your perception of life. We all go through a trauma at some point in our lives. For some people, it is rape. For some people, it's molestation. For some people, it is a divorce. Some people, it's just being married to the wrong person. Some people, it's emotional abuse. Some people, it's physical abuse. For some people, it is spiritual abuse. Some people, it is the loss of a loved one. For some people, it's murder. For some people, it's a crime being committed against you. For some people, it's all types of things that we all go through. But it is how you migrate or move through that trauma. That is the biggest question, and that is the thing that I think, especially within the African American diaspora, if you want to say, or culture, we don't like to really move through or work through our traumas. We like to sweep it under the rug, or we just like to pray about it or take it to Jesus and he'll make it turn it over to the Lord, he'll work it out. Yeah, he'll work it out, but he's going to work it out through you, or he's going to work it out through somebody else. He's not just going to do it by osmosis. This thing is just not going to disappear. I don't care what your favorite pastor and prophet say. I don't care how much I can oil you down like a hog at a country fair. If you are traumatized, sometimes counseling is what's going to bring your deliverance. I know I just cussed at you, but sometimes counseling is going to bring deliverance to you. You can speak in tongues all you want. You can pray all you want. You can gossip about it all you want and everything like that. That is not going to fix it. That is not going to heal you. But if you don't handle these traumas correctly, there's a couple things that is going to happen. One, you're going to be doomed to repeat it. You're going to end up repeating what you've gone through. You're either going to do it to somebody else, or you're going to end up in a cycle where it's going to happen again. Or you're going to become angry, resentful, and everything like that. Or you're going to, and this is what I'm going to talk about tonight, you are going to become numb. You're going to become numb for the most part until the right person comes along and touches the right spot, and you're going to blow up. Okay. This is a traumatized pathology and a traumatized lens. All right. So here's the thing, and I want y'all to pay attention to this. So why am I calling it traveling trauma? Because if you don't handle this trauma will travel into everybody, especially women. Women who are hurt, resentful, traumatized, and all of this stuff. What happens is when you give birth to another child, 9 times out of 10, that trauma is going to travel into that child. It's same thing with men. If you are hurt, and if you are, hey Tiffany, Yancey, how are you? If you are hurt, if you are resentful, if you are abusive, if you are addicted, if you are whatever it is, if you get another woman pregnant, 9 times out of 10, what you are dealing with is going to travel into your child. And I'm not just talking about the symptom. A lot of times, let's just say somebody, and y'all know my testimony, I say it all the time, I used to be addicted to porn. And so because I was addicted to porn, watch this, I understand, people will be like, oh, that's a lust demon, that's a spirit, and all of that. And you're trying to cast out a spirit, and that's not the root, that's the symptom. The thing was, I was looking, yes, it was a spirit of lust, don't get me wrong. But the thing is, there was something deeper. There was something at the root of it. This is my personal testimony. I was looking for the love of a woman, for the acceptance of a woman, and everything. And because I did that, and because I am just naturally a passionate, loving, intimate person, and so I love hard, I love deeply, I feel hard, I feel deeply, all of that stuff. So the highest form of connection and feeling and everything, in my opinion, was intercourse, was sex, right? And so even as from a teenager on, right, I was doing that. Doesn't make it right. It was absolutely wrong. right? But what I'm saying is that that is how I processed resentment and anger and hurt and depression. I processed that, or this is what I should say. I medicated the roots, or I fertilized the roots of those things with sexual intercourse, and eventually with porn, right? If I couldn't get it, I will watch it, and do what I needed to do to myself to get myself together, right? Y'all know what I'm trying to say. All right. I'm not trying to get shadow banned or blocked. So on these here social media streets. And so what happens is, right, we medicate these things with whatever it is, right, that we're doing. For some people it is sex, for some people it is porn, for some people it is alcohol, for some people it is drugs, for some people it is relationships, for some people are so familially wounded, meaning that your family has wounded you so much, you heap upon yourself a whole bunch of friends and a whole bunch of besties, and no matter how toxic they are to you, you keep them near you and you keep them around you because at least you got people connected to you. And so you see what's happening here. And so if you're not careful, what's going to happen is these traumas are going to travel. They're going to show up in the children that you birth. I can't tell you how many times people who I have counseled and provided therapy for and everything like that does it. And here's the thing: when the child manifests or does what is going on or acts the same way the parent is quick to discipline them. And then if you say, well, you do the same thing, the parent goes, no, I don't. No, I don't. It ain't like that. This ain't what it is. That ain't what it is. They just wanted to, wait a minute. And so what happens is, absolutely, Tiff, it's a vicious cycle. It's a problem and it's got to be fixed. Okay. So we're talking about traveling traumas. All right. Y'all typed it in. Great. And so what happens is, if you're not careful, you will become numb. If you don't deal with this, you are going to become numb. You are going to become numb. You are going to become numb. And some of you on this live and I'm not picking on anybody. I'm not picking on anybody. Would that be considered a generational curse? Absolutely. Hey, Prophet Sonia. So the thing is, I'm not picking on anybody because this is a very normal response. Rather than deal with it head on, you sweep it under the rug, right? You sweep it under the rug, and then now you're hurt and you're wounded, and now you've become numb. You've now become numb. And unfortunately, a lot of older generations, they don't like to talk about a lot of stuff because they like, oh, it's over. I'm over it. I'm over. But are you through it? Right? Are you finished or are you complete? I want y'all to type that in. Are you finished or are you complete? Because finished is not the same thing as being complete. You could be like, I'm over it. I'm done. I'm done with this. I'm done with this. I'm over it. I'm good. And then you moving on, but you're not complete. You're done with it, sure. You're finished with it, sure. But you are not complete with this. You finished or are you complete? Okay. And so what happens is, a lot of times, and y'all know it's true talk on a Thursday. It's truth on a Thursday. It's truth on a Thursday. Here we go. It's truth on a Thursday. So y'all know I love everybody. But a lot of times what happens is, because the generation did not want to talk about it, they parented from the place or the posture of their own traumas. They parented from the posture or from the place of their own trauma. And unfortunately, it crept into the church. Pastor them and bishop them. They have not dealt with their traumas so that now it is traveling across the pulpit. And it is traveling in all of these preachers and everybody else that's being caught up in scandals and exposure and all of these things are happening. You want to know what that is? Hey, Star, you want to know what all of that is? Here it is. It's traveling trauma. It's traveling trauma. That's all this is. And we'll crucify people and we'll be like, oh, look, I can't believe that they did. Well, the truth of the matter is they have traveling trauma. They have issues and problems that they have not resolved. One of my clients that's a mega preacher, if I was to say to you who he was, you would know exactly who it was. But this person said, and he was caught up in adultery multiple times. And he said, the reason why I did this, the reason why I was with this person was because she was speaking to the younger version of me that was not healed. She was speaking to the 16 and 15-year-old that was wounded and hurt and fatherless and motherless and still in a fetal position crying. She was speaking to that. And so that made me open up emotionally to her. And eventually I gave her my body. Right? That is how that happens. It's traveling trauma. Right? They're wounded, they're hurt and everything, but because we put so much we because we have so much hurt and trauma and everything like that, and we put so much pressure on our leaders, what happens is, right, we don't give them space or opportunity to process. And so their traumas travel, and then it shows up in, oh man, you see them, drunk in a club, you see them doing drugs, or you see them having sex with somebody that's not their wife or husband. You see them doing whatever, because what they're trying to do is, this is going to sound controversial, and it's going to be kind of anti what many of y'all know me to be, which is an apostle and prophet. It's going to seem anti that. However, that's not what this is. But for many of those, prayer isn't working, right? Oil ain't working. Come out in the name of Jesus ain't working. Hukamashandeing is not working. Kickstarting Hondas and tying yellow bow ties, that's not working for them. And so because the church and the people that they lead is not giving them space to bleed or to work through it, what's happening is it's traveling over the pulpit, and then it's spilling over in their personal life, and now they're acting out all types of things, and they're caught up in stuff now because they've got traveling trauma. Okay. All right. All right. Now, here's the thing, and this is why, listen. If y'all ever find AC caught up in something, scandal, exposing, and everything, please don't crucify me. Right? Because I tell y'all all the time, I'm a hot mess. I don't do everything right, and I'm bound to do something crazy, just like everybody else. Right? If not before the grace of God that hold me together, keep me tight, and the mercy of God that keeps me covered and everything like that, I'd be just like one of them. And I'm very grateful to God for it. But the thing is, right, if I get caught up in something, don't crucify me. Right? Because the truth of the matter is, Judas had a traveling trauma. Judas ended up hanging himself because the church rejected his repentance. He got caught up in something. He went back trying to repent for it, gave back what was given to him, and said, listen, No, no, no. And the church rejected it because they finally got what they want. And the truth of the matter is, and I've learned this, and I can say this as a leader in the church, watch this, the church can literally, they'd rather have your mess, your gossip, and all of your dirty secrets than literally pay attention to your anointing. And I love the church, and I love the people in it. But I'm here to tell you, church folk can traumatize you. I've had people who I prayed over, ordained, prayed with, spoken over, called them a spiritual child. Well, they called me their spiritual father, and I called them my spiritual children. And we walked through it, and we was doing stuff, put them on platforms, gave them access, took them to other countries to minister and preach. And when I gave them, what's up, bro? Hey, Damien. How are you, bro? Gave them platforms and gave them space to do stuff with me and in my stead, gave them my ministry assignments to go and do all types of stuff. And then they turn around and be lying, or even truth that they learn about me, because I'm a very open book, truth that they learn about me, they go and they gossip about it and start making me look like a bad person so that everybody can turn away from me and go the opposite direction. Right? So I've been there. Right? I've been there. I've been wounded. I've been hurt. Hey, Janelle, right? And so church folk can literally traumatize a leader. It really can. Okay. And so it's a problem. Now, so what happens is, and this is really what I'm going to do. Let me get back to what I'm talking about here. Here it is. Here it is. Now, here it is. So what happens is, if you don't deal with these traumas, a lot of times you will become numb. You're going to become numb. And many of you who are watching me, I'm going to say some things now, and it's probably going to trigger you, and it's going to make you feel uncomfortable, or it's not at all. But many times people go numb. They go numb. They become very apathetic. They become very nonchalant, and they'll label it as being nonchalant. But really, it's not them being nonchalant and not caring. They're actually very numb. They're numb to it. They're like, oh, I don't care nothing about that. I don't deal, I don't feel no kind of way about it or whatever. And it's a defense mechanism. Whenever you can literally say, as a human being, I don't feel one way or the other, that means that there is something going off cognitively that is trying to protect a trauma that you are hiding or that you are trying not to engage. I'll give you an example. I had a client who literally was, had, they was like, I'm just, this is just who I am. I'm just mean. I'm just a mean person. I was born this way. I've always been that way. For you to literally say you were born mean, something's wrong. You weren't born mean. You learned that. You took that. You picked that up from somewhere. For you to say, oh, I'm indifferent, whatever. And that's your constant thing. Whatever. It's deflection. You are literally pushing off things so that you won't feel. And this is why when something happens to you that makes you feel, it's an extreme. You go way off the deep end. You depressed because the grass is brown. You are, you real upset over things, and you're crying incessantly, and you're doing all of this stuff because there's traumas that you have not, that's traveling. right? Okay. Now, if you won't deal with those traumas, you will go numb. Now, here's the thing. Numbing, being numb, I'm just starting to creep into the meat of what I'm going to talk about here. If you don't deal with your traumas, then what's going to happen is you are going to now, like I said, you're going to numb out. You're going to start to become numb, and numbing will now block access to your heart. Numbing yourself will now block access to your heart. If you won't deal with the traumas and the issues and the hurts and all of that, then what is going to happen is no, Jay, you can't you can't numb out. And so what happens is if you don't do that, it's going to now block access to your heart. What's up, twin? I love you. If you don't watch this, if you don't allow yourself to feel, it's going to block access to your heart. And this is why you like Fort Knox, right? That you like Fort Knox, you got barbed wire around your heart, you got all of this stuff going on, and so you can't even watch this, you can't even feel love when it comes to you. You can't even recognize it when it's slapping you across your face. You can't accept help. You can't accept gifts. You can't ask me how I know, right? It's hard for you to accept things because you have lived so long with trauma that you become numb to feeling. It will block access to your heart. And so what happens is if you block now access, if the access to your heart is now blocked, then what's going to now happen is, watch this, you will not be able to recognize and know truth. All right, let's get in here. I'm gearing up. I'm about to press the acceleration button. Take a deep breath. Let's do this. If your heart is now blocked, if your heart is now blocked and access to your heart is blocked, now you won't be able to know truth. Why? Because your heart is what tells you the truth. Your heart will tell you the truth. And if your heart is so guarded, it will be hard for you to perceive and know truth. So for instance, I use this example all the time because it was true. One of my clients was like this. And so I use it all the time because it is so easy to understand for everybody. She was a rape victim. She was a rape victim. And so what happens is one day she came into the office and I just simply into the place that we were meeting, and I just simply kind of just touched her shoulder, just like, hey, how are you, kind of guiding her through and it was a very light touch, just kind of open the door, kind of, how we do when people are coming through the door. It was one of those things. Innocent, nothing by it, everything. This girl had a full-blown fit. She thought that my small little guide through the door, like anybody does, strangers do it, right? Anybody would do it. She thought that one, I was coming on to her. Two, she thought that I was violating her. And three, she thought that I was going to try to take advantage of her during our session. Okay. Wounded, traumatized, and because her heart was now so blocked, she can't even recognize the truth of that I was just being kind. I was just being nice. And so what happened now, and this is what so many of us do. Ladies, I know the majority of y'all that's on here is ladies, so this might not be a smart thing for me to do, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Because y'all, it's gonna get a little tight up around here. Because you've got trauma traveling through your body, you've now convinced yourself that you don't need a man, you don't really want a man, you can do better than a man, and so now you've taken on masculine energy. And you've laid your femininity down because you're so traumatized from relationships. And dare I say, some of you, oh boy, I know it's going to get real tight up in here. Some of you have become so resentful and angry to the opposite sex that you've now committed to being in same-sex relationships. I said some of you. If that ain't you, don't get mad. Hey, Ramona. I'm say lying. I'm say lying. Because a lot of y'all real mannish, and I don't mean that you mannish like wearing suit and ties and baggy jeans and basketball shorts and hair back in cornrows and stuff like that. That ain't what I'm talking about. Here it is. What I'm trying to say to you is you done abandon your femininity, and you have so lied to yourself that you are now confusing your feminine energy for masculine energy. You're calling it feminism or being a feminist, but really it's masculine. This is how much trauma you're operating in. I'm not saying you can't be a boss. I'm not saying you can't have your own stuff. I'm not saying you can't have your own companies. I can't say you can't be doing well and making it. Do what you do, boo boo. But there's a lot of y'all. There's a lot of y'all, and some of y'all are my spiritual daughters that have taken on a masculine energy because you are so wounded and you are so traumatized with stuff to where now you are conflating and you are confusing truth. Your heart is so guarded to where you can't even know truth now. Your standards are lopsided. Your processes are lopsided. The way you perceive people is lopsided, and it's all types of things going on. I know I told you it was going to get a little tight, but I love you. And so your heart is what tells you the truth. Your heart is what tells you the truth. So watch this. If you don't, excuse me, if you don't deal with the trauma, you're going to go numb. And if you go numb, it is going to block access to your heart. And if you block access to your heart, watch this. If you block access to the heart, you will now no longer have access to truth. This is men and women, everybody. If you block access to your heart, and I'm talking about for everybody to have access to your heart. I'm talking about you having access to y'all. Some of y'all can't even feel for your own self. You don't even know how you feel about you. There's a thought right there. Some of you don't even know how to feel about yourself. And if you do feel something about yourself, it is self-loathing, it is being overcritical, it is being sometimes hypocritical, it is being so hard on yourself, and you don't even know why you so hard on yourself. And the truth of the matter is because you have parental trauma. So you're now trying to parent yourself the same way you've been parented. Traveling trauma. And if you have children, you're doing that, you're going to end up doing the same thing to them. Okay. So if you don't have access to your heart, you're not going to have access to truth. Watch this. So if you don't deal with traumas and truths, it will travel. Hear me. It will travel into whatever you launch, whatever you birth, whatever you start, whatever you connect with, and everything like that. It will literally travel into that. I train apostles and prophets and pastors, teachers, and evangelists. I have a whole school on it. I train apostles, right? I train prophets. And many of them are on this live right now. And they will tell you before I even begin telling you what an apostle is, before I even tell you what a prophet is, before I even tell you how to move in apostolic discourse and have the governments of apostolicity, before I even tell you what apostolic succession is, before I even give you the dynamics of the prophetic, and before I even teach you how to hear God and prophesy, before I even teach you about the grace and the class and the grace, the class, the mantles, and all of that stuff of the prophetic and everything like that, they will tell you. And everybody who is taking my class, y'all sound off and just say, he right. The first thing I deal with you on is getting you whole. The first thing I deal with you on is your mental health. The first thing I deal with you on is the health of your heart. The first thing I deal with you on is making sure you have a balanced, practical life. Before I even teach you about the prophetic and the apostolic and everything like that, I deal with you on you getting to a place of wholeness, because you can lay hands and be broken. You can be, and when you lay hands, all you're doing is traveling the trauma from you to them. And you can oil them down with what, look at them sounding off. Yeah, he right. I know. Listen, that's what I do. Before we even get into the meat of all of the training, we're going to deal with your wholeness. We're going to deal with your traumas. We're going to deal with your perception of you. We're going to deal with all of that stuff before I even teach you what a garment means, before I even teach you what a mantle is, before I even teach you about all of this stuff, because what's not going to happen is this hand go on a wounded head. I'm not doing it. So what's going to happen is we're going to work through this stuff. We're going to deal with this stuff so that when this mantle comes off of this man of God and onto your vessel, it's going to go on a vessel that is not going to break or crack under the weight, because there's so much trauma and gunk in it that now it's breaking down from the inside out. Ain't happening. And so many leaders will just ordain you and just give you a title and just slap stuff on you just because you got a gift. No. We're going to work on some stuff. Absolutely. Have your spirit. I know them classes be cringy, and then I make you do the work to get through it. Anywho, I want you to understand. I want you to understand up and through here, right up and through here. Watch this. You will attract the area of the, don't leave me now. Don't you dare leave me now, because I'm about to say something to you. You will eventually attract the areas of your life that you won't address. I'm going to say it again. Father, help them. Help them to hear this. You will eventually attract the areas in your life that you will not address. Hey, Neva. The areas in your life that you will not deal with, that you will not work through, that you will not handle, you will attract people, places, things, and ideas that thrive in those areas in your life that you won't address. You still ain't forgiven. You still ain't forgiven Uncle Roy from molesting you when you was a kid. And so now you hopping from relationship to relationship, relationship to relationship, relationship to relationship, giving them whatever they want, diluting the potency of your own existence. You doing all of this stuff because you got a wound that you won't heal through. Or you won't even, or you might have married them hoping that they would save you from your trauma. You're putting the responsibility of your healing onto that man or that woman. All you're doing now is passing your trauma from you onto them. It's truthful Thursday. It's truth on a Thursday, because the truth of the matter is some of y'all married because you were traumatized. Some of you got connect. Some of y'all in a long-term relationship with somebody because you traumatized. All right. And some of you, here's the truth of the matter here's the truth. Here's the truth. Some of y'all had somebody who you should have been married to or should have truly married. That was your soulmate, if you want to call them that, the one or whatever. But you abandoned that marriage. You abandoned that relationship because it was too much for you. You felt like you weren't ready for it. You felt like you couldn't handle it. You felt like you just wanted self-perception. You just couldn't do it. You weren't ready for it. So you went off and married somebody, or you got with somebody that you should not have gotten with because you traumatized. Truth on a Thursday. It's just the truth. And I know you want to fight me. I know you might be mad at me, and I know you might be disagreeing with me right now. Watch that. But what I'm saying to you is, many times that's what we do. That's what a whole lot of people do. The right one come along, and this could be a romantic relationship, this could be a business relationship, this could be whatever. Right? Right one come along, and you squander it or you jack it up because you traumatized. And you ain't dealing with stuff. Traveling trauma. Some of you are so traumatized. I know y'all want me to turn my plow, but I ain't gonna do it. Some of you are so traumatized that you can't even really launch you scared to launch your own business because you don't think you could do it. Because somehow, some way, along the way, oh, that's Pastor Delshana. Hey, Pastor Delshana. Somewhere along the way, somebody told you that you couldn't do it or that you shouldn't do it, that you're not good enough to do it. Some of y'all ain't wrote the book. Ain't nobody gonna read my book. Don't nobody want to. You ain't even doing the course. Ain't nobody gonna listen to me. Ain't nobody gonna listen to what I gotta say. All of this stuff, traveling trauma, and it's showing up in everything that you do. You're attracting this stuff to you because you won't address it. That's why you feel like you can't keep everybody in your life. And this is what you will do. Here it is. I know, I know, I know, I know, I know, I know y'all want me to turn back, but I ain't gonna do it. This is why so many of y'all like to take on other people's problems. Because if you feel like, because in your mind, cognitively, you're processing like this. If I take on their problems, they're going to need me. And if they need me, they're going to keep me. They're going to stay away. They're going to stay around me. They're going to, because you have a trauma of abandonment and rejection. So you have developed this pathology. As long as people need me, as long as people need me, and I take on their problems and I take on their stuff and just bear it for them. If I be their garbage dumpster, if I be their garbage can, if I just take on this stuff and just let people do whatever and just let them put whatever in me and just treat me however and everything like this. As long as I do that, then at least I got people around me. Traveling trauma. So here's the thing. You're going to attract the area that you won't address. I love you. I love your daughter. You need to watch this. What you're doing is you're using, look at what you're doing. You're using other people's problems to smother your own. You're using other people's problems to cover up your own problems. Because as long as I only see their problems and I give myself something to do, I won't see my own traumas and have to work on myself. I know this is heavy. I know this is a thing, and I know them comments done got real quiet. It's just only about 2-3 of y'all commenting right now, because I know it's probably y'all just processing and thinking. I get it. It's quiet in this Anglican church. Here we go. Right. So you got hurt and resentment and all of this stuff. You got hurt and resentment going off in you. And now that's translated into your relationships. Do we have a worksheet so you can work it out with you? I can't. That's now translating into your relationships. You hurt and you resentful and you got all this stuff in you. And now that's coming out in your relationships. You are so hurt and wounded and traumatized that now, here it is. You ready? Here it is. Your fuse is now short. And it ain't because you use this excuse. I just don't tolerate foolishness. I just don't deal with foolishness. I just ain't got no time for games. I just ain't got no time. And you just going. I ain't got no. I ain't got time for games. I ain't got time for all this. I ain't got time. Remember, I told you love, right? Love. You can't even feel love because you don't have access to your heart. So now you're going, I ain't got time for games. I ain't got time for foolishness. I ain't got time for the petty. I ain't got time for all of this. And so your fuse, you call it a short fuse, but really that's not a short fuse. That's your numbness. That is you literally being a guard dog against your heart. Guard dog with your heart. You lying to yourself. And everything you say you ain't got time for is the same thing the Bible says that you should have time for. I just ain't got time for people acting crazy. Love is long suffering. Love doesn't keep record of wrong. I'm gonna forgive you, but I ain't gonna forget. Love doesn't keep record of wrong. I'm gonna forgive you, but you ain't never gonna get close to me. They just said they ain't like your dress. That's all they said. And you just took that as a whole personal attack against you. Lord, you sure you want me to go there? I'm gonna go there. And so many of y'all are so hurt and traumatized by church that you have now gone on the attack of the church and its leaders. You talk more about what's wrong with the church and what's wrong with the people of the church than you being a solution to the problem. But then here's the thing, you now want to be on the outside of the church talking about the church and the church leaders versus getting in there and being a solution to the problem. I said it and meant every syllable. But anyways, here's the thing. You've got to deal with the traveling trauma. I'm almost done, I promise. I'm almost done, I promise. When you have unhealed traumas, you will have unrealistic expectations. And you will live life committed to keeping those traumas buried. Hear me when I say to you, I know the number's dropping because y'all mad at me now. It's all right. I love you. Here it is. Here it is. When you have unhealed traumas, you will have unrealistic expectations and you will live your life committed to burying your traumas. Let's just do it because it's a trendy topic and I'm just doing it as an example. It's a trendy topic, this whole, women and men thing, the whole Kevin Samuels, when he would debate women or talk with women, and all of these other TikTokers and influencers that would talk about, this whole women and men thing. So let's use this as an example. And I can say this as a therapist and a counselor. There are so many women that are traumatized and men that are traumatized that we now put unrealistic expectations on our partners because we don't deal with the traumas that we have. Yeah. Right? It's kind of like, and I'm gonna be very exaggerating and very over the top with this. It's like, I want you truth on the Thursday. Let me just be Dr. Chris, right? Let me just be Dr. Chris. Truth on the Thursday, right? True Talk on the Thursday. I want you to pay my bills. I want you to pay my bills. I want you to make sure it's a roof over my head. I want you to provide for the family. I want you to protect the family. I want you to profess who I am in your life. And I want you to make sure you make love to me when I want you to make love to me. And I want you to, but then watch this. I want you to make love to me when I want you to make love to me. But then when you want it, it's a negotiation, and I shouldn't have to give it to you because ain't nobody going to control my body. I want you to make sure you bring home food, and I want you to or make enough money for us to eat out. But when you want me to cook dinner and everything, I'm gonna be too tired. I want you to make sure that my hair is taken. I'm being very exaggerating. I want you to make sure my hair is taken care of and my nails is taken care of, and make sure I got food, and make sure I got clothes, and make sure the kids is taken care of. But when it comes to you doing for him, and he say to you, oh, can I have some sex tonight? No, I'm too tired. Can I have some sex tonight? Oh, no. Remember when you did this? You want me to lay on my back and just give this to you? Now, I don't feel like, so the argument and I'm being very exaggerating, right? So I'm giving two sides of the story. So the arguing and the nagging and you always coming at me and telling me what I ain't and telling me what I ain't doing, and you always talking about what I ain't doing, that makes me not want to get up and work to provide for you, but I still get up and go do it because that's what I'm supposed to do. But now all of a sudden, church got real quiet. And the truth of the matter is, once again, you now have unrealistic expectations of the one that you are in relationship with, because you see it on the screen or you see it on social media. You see them wearing rented clothes. Let's be real. You see them wearing rented clothes. They don't even own them. You think they own a private jet, but they in somebody's selfie factory, or whatever you call it. That new trend where people are just creating, they just getting warehouses and creating like selfie booths in there. You got unrealistic expectations. Now you want him to do all of this stuff for you because you have this life in your mind, because you have a trauma of poverty. So you want somebody to medicate your trauma of poverty with materialistic stuff. Tiffany, you know I'm a mess. Listen, it's a thing. You will always have unrealistic expectations if you don't deal with your trauma. If you don't deal with your traumas, you're going to have unrealistic expectations. And you're going to live your life committed to burying your traumas. Everything you do is going to be in an effort. It is going to be in an effort to bury your traumas. You are overachieving so you don't have to deal with your trauma. You are so, watch this, you are so traumatized by what people said and did to you that you are now overachieving, working yourself to the bone, and it's in a very unhealthy way. All of this stuff, and you call it grinding or leveling up or bossing up, but really you just killing yourself because you trying to prove yourself to other people because of what they said about you. You got a wound. You have a trauma. You not being wildly successful because you just want to be wildly successful. You trying to do it to prove something to somebody. That's a trauma. You trying to level up on somebody. You trying to, get ahead of somebody else so that they can see you. And it's not just in the marketplace, it's in the ministry as well. I know you don't want me to talk about it. You trying to outdo the next conference, outdo the next workshop, outdo the last concert, outdo this, outdo that, outdo that, because you traumatized. And your trauma is now traveling into everything you do. Now you got unrealistic expectations of yourself, unrealistic expectations of your spouse, unrealistic expectations of your friends, unrealistic expectations of your kids, unrealistic expectations across the board, because you are trying to so keep it in a certain way, in a certain light, in a certain manner, in a certain place. Watch this. You trying to do all of that. Here it is, so that it can bury your traumas. And now it's oozing out. Now it's oozing. Yeah, absolutely. Even not the chicken bone. Now it's oozing out on everything. Now it's manifesting in sleeplessness. You can't sleep because you can't turn your brain off, because you still trying to figure out what my next thing gonna be. What am I gonna do? How am I gonna do it? What am I gonna do? How am I gonna do it? What am I gonna do? How am I gonna do it? You can't even sleep. I know this is triggering for some of y'all. Some of y'all got paranoia, and I don't mean that you just, like a chronic depressive paranoia. But what I mean is, watch this. I'm talking about, you always think you got a hater. You always think somebody coming after you. You always looking over your shoulder because you feel like somebody coming for you. Ain't nobody thinking about you. You traumatized. And many of y'all doing stuff because you got this whole I got something to prove. Miss me with that. To who? And why do you feel the need to prove it to them? Prove what to them? That you can do it? I had a friend who was like, I only got my undergrad degree, and I made sure I sent my invitations to them to prove to them that I could do it. You did, so you graduated for them. So you can say, aha, you went into debt. You went into tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt to prove something to somebody. Are you kidding me? Hear that. Watch this. So, all right. How do I heal? I'm on here longer than I planned. How do I heal the trauma? How do I heal the trauma? How do I heal the traveling trauma? How do I make sure that these traumas do not pass on to my children and my children's children and my children's children's children? How do I do that? Number one, you need to make sure that you get an understanding. You get an understanding. Number one, you make sure that you get an understanding. You get an understanding. What is getting understanding? It's notating the problem and the symptoms. And then after you've notated the problems and the symptoms, you get up under it, because there is something that is feeding that. You got to find the root of it. And some of y'all can't even see the root. Y'all don't even know where the root is. There is something, there's a substratum. There's a foundation to all of this. So getting an understanding, which is where you get up under everything and you do the work to know what this is and why this is. This is where And this is going to be so hard for so many of you. This is where you're going to have to give yourself permission to feel. Did you hear what I just said to you? I know you feel like I just cussed you out. You are going to have to give yourself permission to feel. Some of you are angry, pardon my words, and pissed off at your own mother, your own grandmother, but you will never let those words come out of your mouth. And as long as you don't let those words come out of your mouth, you'll never feel it. It will harbor and fester. And because you're not letting that stuff go, it's killing you. It surely is. Some of you are mad and upset at your own spouse, mad and upset at your own self, mad and upset at your children, mad and upset. Some of y'all have so much resentment against your children because they remind you about your divorced spouse that you didn't like. And y'all know you're going to have to give yourself permission to feel it. Some of y'all had to deal with some stuff growing up and you just held it in. And you are a whole 50, 60, 70 years old, 30 years old, however, you a grown person and you ain't dealt with it and you still sitting with this stuff in you. It's haunting you and it's caused you to go numb to it. You go around your rape, and not because you got delivered and you good, but you go around your rapist and your molester and how are you? And you not feeling. I'm not talking about you can do it because you delivered and you good. No. I'm talking about some of y'all just doing it because you won't let yourself feel it. Some of y'all turn y'all feelings off so you can tolerate certain people in your life. I just said something right there. I'm going to say it again because I want you to try to feel that. Some of you turn your feelings off so that you can tolerate people around you. Anyways, you get an understanding. Number two. And it was let me help you here. It's the grandest, biggest lie somebody told you when they say, get up out your feelings, get out of your feelings, get out of what? Get out of my feelings. I'm supposed to not feel a certain type of way by what you just said or did to me. Huh? You can feel some type of way. Now, if it's the wrong response or the wrong feeling, now that means that there's a trauma being triggered that's not intentionally being triggered. I'll never forget, me and Angelica got into a massive argument in the formative years of our marriage. And what happened was she went and crawled up into a ball and cried like a baby. Why? Because she thought that me disagreeing with her and me correcting her behavior was me rejecting her. Huh? Because I said I did not like this and I did not appreciate this, all of a sudden I've rejected you. Traveling trauma. So you're going to have to give yourself permission to feel. Y'all know the story. I've said it, where I sat at the end of the bed, looked back at her and said, I love you, but I don't like you and I don't want you anymore. And I meant it. Grabbed my bag and flew. I don't even remember where I flew to go do a conference. Left the building. Now, I was traumatized too, but she was there, right? And so that's when I rejected. But beforehand, no. Is this helping? I hope this is helping. You got to get up under these things. Get up under it so that you can feel. Number two, you're going to have courage. You're going to have courage. This is how you heal from these traveling traumas. You're going to have courage. You're going to have the courage to have the conversation with you or with somebody else. If you need to have the conversation with you, you're going to have the courage to have the conversation with you. If you need to have the conversation with somebody else, you're going to need to have that conversation with somebody else. If that person is deceased, write a letter. Write a letter and burn it. Write whatever. I don't know. You're going to have a conversation either with you or with somebody else, or you're going to have to find a therapist like myself that can help you walk through or process through this stuff. I want y'all to type this in. Type this in. Get out of your head and into your heart. Write this down. Write it down. Type it in. Don't forget it. Get out of your head and into your heart. Get out of your head and into your heart. Get out of your head and into your heart. You're going to have a heart soulish conversation, not with your head, because some of y'all are in relationships by your head. with relationships with yourself and with other people by your head. You're going by your head knowledge. But you need to get out of your head and into your heart. This is just True Talk on a Thursday. Get out of your head and into your heart. You need to come to the place where you're going to have the courage to feel, the courage to confess what you're feeling, so that this stuff can move in. It's so much emotions and energy and the world calls it energy. The church calls it a spirit. It's so much stuff in you just sitting and lodged in you and locked up in you. You need to open your mouth so this stuff can start to move and get out of you. Get out of your head and into your heart. Number 3. So the first one is understanding. 2, courage. 3, you're going to have to acknowledge your purpose and your intent. You're going to have to acknowledge your purpose and your intent. You need to understand that you are doing this for you and not for anybody else. Hear me what I just said to you. You are doing this for you and nobody else. Listen, I want you to type in these 3 words and mean it when you type it. And I want you to say it out of your beautiful mouth. I want you to say this. You ready? I want you to say, I owe me. I want you to type it and I want you to say it. Say, I owe me. I owe me. I owe me. Yeah. I owe me. I see y'all typing it in. I owe me. Yeah, you do. What are you saying, AC? What do you mean I owe me? What do you say? I'm telling you, you owe you. What are you saying? What are you saying? What am I saying to you? You don't look at your whole life. Look at your life. Look at what you have gone through. Look at what you have been through. Look at what you are going through. You have put yourself through turmoil, through trauma, through tragedies, through deaths, through divorces, through anger, through resentment. Yes, successes. Yes, great things. But you have been in valleys. You have put yourself through sicknesses. You have put yourself through lack. You have put yourself through poverty. You have put yourself through indiscretionary decisions. You have put yourself through all types of superfluous decisions. You have put yourself through all types of stuff that you got yourself into. You have put yourself through bad relationships. You put yourself through toxic relationships. You put yourself through bad careers, dead end jobs. You don't put yourself through failed businesses, failed ministries. You put yourself through self-sabotage and self-dilution. You put yourself through silence and just holding it all in. You put yourself through all this stuff, all for these many years. You owe you. You are in debt to you now. And then I am your voice saying to you, you owe me. No, you owe me this healing. No. Because you don't put, let me be the voice. Let me be your voice talking to you. You don't put me through resentment. You don't put me through hurt. You don't make me hold this stuff in. You don't make me hold in resentment. You don't make me hold cognitive suppression, where you done made me try to forget this stuff and not talk about it, but yet it's still in me. You done made me go through sickness. You done made me go through toxic relationships. You done made me go through bad decisions. You done made me have to go through bad careers and dead-end jobs. You done made me go through abandonment. You done made me go through a failed divorce. You done made me go deal with these crazy kids. You done made me deal with these crazy family. You done made me deal with these crazy pastors and church folk. You done made me deal with all of this that you owe me. You owe me this. No, boo-boo. No, boo-boo. You owe me this healing. Your body, your mind, and your spirit is saying to you today, you owe me. Now, you done showed up for everybody else. You done took on everybody else's ministry. You done did all of this stuff. Nah, boo-boo. You owe me this. No. You owe me. You owe me. You done showed up for everybody else. You done gave everybody else counseling. You done gave everybody else a good ear and all of this stuff. You was good to him and he was just messing you over. You were good to her and she just was using you. You was doing now you did everything for everybody else. Now your mind and your heart and your soul is saying to you right now, you owe me this. No, you owe me this healing. You owe it to me to show up for me. That's what your body is saying. That's what you're saying to you right now. I'm just the voice. I'm just the voice. Absolutely. It's my turn. Yourself is saying to you right now, it's my turn now. No, it's my turn now. And it ain't selfish for you to do it. It ain't selfish. It ain't mean. It ain't arrogant and all of that. No. Let me be your voice to you that's saying, no, you done did everything for everybody else. You gonna do this for you. No, you gonna do this for me. That's what your body, that's what you are saying to you right now. No, absolutely. It's my turn now. That's exactly what your mind, your body, your heart is saying to you. You don't put me through all these traumas. You don't put me through all of this stuff. You owe me this. You owe me this healing. I ain't said nothing up until now, but now I'm saying it. You owe me this. You owe it to me to show up. I done showed up for you through every trauma, through every tragedy, through everything. I done showed up for you. That's what you are saying to you. I'm helping you. I'm just being the voice so you can hear it. Showed up for everybody else. Did it for everybody else. You owe me this. No, you owe me this one. You owe me this. That's what you are saying to you right now. And you need to, that number 3, you need to acknowledge that purpose and intent. It's you doing this for you because you owe yourself that. You owe you that. It's your turn. Absolutely. It's your turn now. Absolutely. It's time to show up for you. Time to show up for you. And then the last thing, so how do you heal from the traveling trauma? You understand, you get to the place of understanding. Get up under that thing, see what those roots are, and give yourself permission to feel. Number 2, you have the courage to have the conversation with yourself or with the person that hurt you, or with a therapist like myself, a counselor like myself, or somebody that can help you walk through and have a healthy conversation. Number 3, you acknowledge your purpose. You owe you. Number 4, and lastly, you recognize success. You have to recognize the success, not outwardly. I'm not talking about recognize your successes because you launched the business, wrote the book, did the ministry, did whatever. I'm not just talking about that. I'm talking about you recognize the successes inwardly. Recognize when you've had a breakthrough. Recognize when you've done work on you. Recognize and acknowledge the fact that you have broken a barrier or you did something you never thought that you would do. Celebrate yourself. Somebody might not take you out for a steak. Go get a steak yourself. Go get a steak yourself. Buy yourself a steak. Get yourself a drink or two. Take yourself on a staycation because you did it for you. Shut your phone down. Shut the computer off. Sit there. Lay there in your bathrobe. Lay there naked for all I care in the bed and watch and Netflix and chill with your own self. That probably didn't come out right. But watch a movie by your own self. Binge watch a series. Do something for you. Recognize the success when you do it. Even if it's the little ones, the inward successes that you have. Listen, you owe it to yourself to do that. Yeah, Pure Flix. Raven, what's up, bro? I'm telling you, she said this is for me. Absolutely. You might not have a large wallet, you might not have a lot of money. Buy yourself a little scoop of ice cream. Huh? Do something for you. Because when you have those inward successes, I'm not talking about just celebrating your accomplishments that you do outwardly around the world. And listen, I'm excited that you're doing it. Don't get me wrong; those ought to be celebrated as well. But when you work on you, and you just listen, I don't care. I could be married. I could have a whole lot of friends and everything like that. But guess what? I guarantee you, ain't nobody gonna treat Christopher N. Montgomery better than Christopher N. Montgomery treats himself. Ain't gonna happen. Ain't gonna happen. I'm gonna get my own nails done. I'm gonna get my own feet done. I'm gonna go get my hair cut. I'm gonna make sure I stay groomed up. I might buy myself a piece of clothing or two. I'm gonna buy myself a little meal out. Yes, I know how to cook, all of that stuff, but I'm going to do something for me. At the end of the day, I appreciate anything anybody ever does for me. Trust me, because there was a point where I rejected it. I refused to allow it to happen. I would get mad when people gave me gifts. I would get mad when people acknowledged me. I would get mad when people recognized me. I would get upset and reject it and push it away and get mad about it all. There was a day where I was that. But you want to know why that was happening? Because I was traumatized. I had traveling traumas. Now that I have worked through that, I appreciate everything anybody does for me. Trust me, and I love it. I love it. That's one of my love languages, the giving of gifts. It's one of my love languages. You buy me something, I interpret that as love. Sorry, it may sound selfish or whatever, but it's just I've discovered through taking the quiz. That's just what it is. Okay. But absolutely, buy your own roses and carnations with the glimmery vase. Gifts is a real love language, and I love them. I'll say gifts that make sense, though. It gotta make sense, right? Don't buy me a origami crane unless it's worth like $10,000 made by a real artisan or something. But no, I said that jokingly. I do appreciate any gift that's given. But at the end of the day, you owe you this. And so many of y'all got trapped. So many of us have traveling traumas. Let me not say y'all. Let's all be inclusive here. So many of us have traveling traumas, and it's passing on to our children, either spiritually, physically, our children as in businesses, as in ministries, everything. That stuff it's spilling over into that stuff. And some of y'all traumas is traveling over into your relationship with God. You can't even see God as a father because you got father wounds. Ask me how I know. You can't even see God as a mother because you've got mother wounds. You are so traumatized parentally. You are so traumatized parentally that you won't run to God for help. When you sin or get into a bind, you try to figure it out yourself rather than running to your Father in heaven. Because you traumatized. You can't see him as a provider because you've always had to provide for yourself. You've always had to make it happen yourself. You've always had to do all of this stuff yourself. So you can't see him as a father and a provider and a mother and a friend and all of that stuff because you're so traumatized by all of that. So you can't see him by nothing else than a white man with a gray beard with a white robe sitting on the big throne. That's as far as your eye can see. It's just truth on a Thursday. You can't even see him as who he really is because you so traumatized. And it's traveling over into your other relationships. Relationships with God, your interpersonal relationships, and the relationship you have with your own self. It's true. It's true. Listen, I want to, for those of you who like, hey, I need you to help me, AC. I need you to help me through this. I need you to help me process through this. I want you to go, you can go right here to my website and you can book it right online. You can book a session with me, a therapy counseling session. You can book that with me. You get about an hour to an hour and a half, I believe. And we're going to work through some stuff. If you want to do it, right, you can go to my website, drchristophermontgomery.com, and go book a session right there on the website at your convenience, at your availability, and I will help you work through that. Don't expect me to get on there prophesying to you. Don't expect me getting on there trying to pray and all of it. No, 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 no. Some of y'all owe yourself this right here. Y'all buy yourself bags and Birkins, and y'all buy yourself all of this stuff to try to pacify it. Yourself is saying you owe me this. You owe me this help, and I'm gonna help you. Oh, I'm gonna help you real good. And if we can't get to all of the resolve in one session, you have an opportunity to book more than one session, or you can just go ahead and we'll I'll give you the tools to keep working on it and to get through some stuff. Okay. I'm just saying. So you can go to drchristophermontgomery.com, book your session, a therapy and counseling session. I am licensed. I am degreed. I am Dr. Christopher Montgomery. That's what I have a degree in, psychology and Christian counseling. So we can do this. Okay. We can do this, and we can do this together. You are more than welcome, my wonderful daughter. Also, don't forget, y'all, as I said to y'all at the beginning of this, I am doing a course called Dynamics of the Supernatural. Woohoo! Dynamics of the Supernatural 101. It starts November the 15th, and it's going to go for 8 weeks. Every Tuesday for 8 weeks. And these are just some of the topics that we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about a whole lot more. You can go to Dr. Chris Montgomery or drchristophermontgomery.com and register. Is under the trainings and courses section on the website. And all of the classes will be held right there on the website, right there through the website, I should say. You could just go there, and there's going to be some recorded videos. And also, if you register, you're going to be able to get access to some of the other teachings that I've done, some of the classes that y'all might not have registered for, but you was like, man, I missed it. You'll be able to get some of those classes too, by the way. But anyways, that's just a tidbit. And then also there will be a workbook and books also available for purchase that will help you go along with the Dynamics of the Supernatural 101. You need to grow. Okay, so definitely go to drchrismontgomery.com. You can register for this course as well. All righty. All righty. So listen, I love you. Listen, if y'all were blessed by this and you want to sow, or you want to give and you want to support me, or you just want to send the seed to say thank you, I really, really needed this. If you want to say thank you, I really, really, really needed this. And thank you for helping me uncover or look at some things. And you want to say, hey, thank you. That's your love language. Here's a little gift for you. You absolutely could do that. It's right there. Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, Cash App, DRCM Global, Venmo, DRCM Global, and PayPal, drcmglobal@gmail.com. If you want to Zelle it, it is the same email you see there on PayPal. If you want to do it via Zelle, drcmglobal@gmail.com. All right. So if you want to Zelle, drcmglobal@gmail.com, PayPal, drcmglobal@gmail.com, Venmo at drcmglobal, and Cash App, DRCM Global as well. Okay. All right. So I love each and every last one of you. Thank you. I see you. So you needed this. You helped me understand where I am and to accept the season. Amen. Wonderful. Wonderful. You are welcome, Tiffany. You are welcome. I believe that's Pastor Delshana. And his courses are never the same. My courses are never the same, ever. So they may sometimes have the same name. Like I've done the School of the Seer multiple times. I've done the Academy of Prophets multiple times. I've done certain things multiple times, but they're never the same. Ever, ever, ever the same. So you are always going to get more information and new information and stuff like that. So love you too. Let's see, Ingrid, love you. You are welcome. All right, cool beings. I love y'all. I want y'all to have the most amazing evening. Y'all go and eat y'all some chicken, some tofu, some salad, whatever it is that you're going to eat on tonight if you have not already. All right, I love y'all. Y'all have a good night. Talk to you soon. Peace.